lost two heroes last night. Two men who raised their hands and answered the call of duty to protect and serve their communities.
Two of our brothers gave the ultimate sacrifice, holding the line between right and wrong.
We have officers in this room right now that are grieving. We have officers that are in their homes right now grieving. And we have officers out on the streets continuing to protect us while they're grieving.
Their death is a loss to every member of this community.
God bless our two heroes, and God bless their families, and God bless these brave men and women.
Hearts are heavy across central New York tonight. Our community grieving the loss of two fallen heroes. Good evening. I'm Jeff Kulikowski.
And I'm Christy Casciano. Our community still in shock after the deaths of two police officers, a decorated veteran from the Onondaga County Sheriff's Office and a Syracuse City police officer, both gunned down last night in Salina. And all across Onondaga County, communities gathered together to honor their brothers in blue. This procession bringing the city of Syracuse and surrounding suburbs to a standstill tonight. First responders lining our streets, overpasses to pause and salute one of the fallen officers. The body of Lieutenant Deputy Michael Husak escorted from the county medical examiner's office to a funeral home before being taken to his final resting place. Just one of several powerful tributes taking place to honor the lieutenant and Syracuse police officer Michael Jensen.
Every hour, more salutes taking shape across Syracuse. Tonight, you're looking live, a symbol of the Salt City. Also honoring our heroes. We're looking live at the JMA Wireless Dome, shining bright and blue for the men who bravely donned the badge and made the ultimate sacrifice.
Why? That is the question so many in our community have tonight. Why did this happen? Why did the shooter, Christopher Murphy, open fire on two police officers?
Both the sheriff and the DA calling it an ambush, but tonight we're just learning that the shooter and a friend were doing cocaine, possibly laced with something else, in the hours just before the officers were murdered. News Channel 9's Andrew Donovan has more.
The police departments who lost officers can't just grieve. Their work continues around the city and county, especially in Salina, where they're still securing the house where their brothers were gunned down.
At any given moment, and this is an example of that, some routine call can take their lives.
It started on Tipperary Hill, where Officer Michael Jensen and his partner tried to pull over an SUV, speeding more than 100 miles per hour. The driver, now identified as 33-year-old Christopher Murphy, sped away, but the license plate number led police to his house. On the way, backup was called. Sheriff's Lieutenant Mike Husak was among the first at the suspect's home.
They heard what sounded like a gun being manipulated, so they took cover.
It was an assault rifle, a barrage of gunfire along a suburban Salina street.
It's too difficult to count the number of rounds. Lieutenant Husak went to the backyard of the neighboring house, looked for cover behind a maple tree, at which point he was ambushed. The suspect then went to the front of the house where the Syracuse police officers were.
Our officer was taken out by the suspect. That officer, however, did return fire, along with other officers, and mortally wounded the suspect.
The house is still being secured as evidence because investigators haven't yet gone inside to look for guns or ammunition, more cocaine or other drugs. Really any clues to explain why a man facing some speeding tickets would brutally attack police officers.
There's something in his past that I don't think we're going to reveal at this point that may be some indicator as to why he did it.
His criminal record only lists a DWI. The chief said no incidents of mental health crisis or threats of violence until last night.
We will be feeling these emotions for days, weeks, months, and years. You can trust me on this. But you can trust me on this as well. We will get through it.
A healing process just barely beginning. In Salina, Andrew Donovan, News Channel 9.
Andrew, thank you. As detectives tirelessly work to crack this case, we're working to learn more about our fallen heroes.
Before giving the ultimate sacrifice, Sheriff's Lieutenant Michael Husak and Syracuse Police Officer Michael Jensen both making marks on their communities. News Channel 9's Kendra Brodus takes us beyond the badge.
A show of support for the two men with a sea of blue last night, honoring their fallen brothers. Onondaga Sheriff's Michael Husak, or Hooch as his friends called him, promoted to lieutenant just this past June. A father and husband, along with a highly respected brother in blue.
Had a wife, 3 young children, ages 3, 5, and 7. He joined the sheriff's office in 2007. He was a watch commander. He was our bomb squad commander. Received multiple commendations and medals.
And Syracuse police officer Michael Jensen, young, only on the job for 2 years, but already making a difference in the environment around him.
He came to work yesterday with his typical bright smile ear to ear and his charming personality, that infectious, charming personality that resonated so well with our members.
There are no words for it, except to tell them that he was a proud officer that worked a territory car. And even after only a little over 2 years on the job, you could tell he took his responsibility seriously to protect and serve the community.
And now the community is pulling together to honor their fallen heroes. In Syracuse, Kendra Brodus, News Channel 9.
And people who live in the normally quiet Salina neighborhood of Darien Drive still shaken by what happened last night. News Channel 9's Jeremy Skiba spoke with a father who watched everything unfold right in front of his own home.
When the shots rang out Sunday night, David Stott gathered his family, including his young daughter, and led them to the basement for safety. Then came the sirens of first responders.
All of a sudden, all of the police in the area, just all of them, showed up and responded to take care of the situation.
And on his front lawn, wounded officer Michael Jensen and Lieutenant Michael Husak in desperate attempts to save their lives.
It's difficult to see when you see them working on an officer, and you start praying. From there, you see the faces of people that they're people. They're police officers. That's what they do, but they're people.
For Stott, not only was it heartbreaking, it was life-changing.
To find out shortly after he was taken away that it was one of the officers, it just hits you. Here's a person that had plans today, and has a family.
And in this suburban neighborhood filled with families, it was shocking to learn the shootout happened at this house.
It's a family that had the big candy bars, or at Christmas, when we'd go there and we'd have the Santa thing with the fire department, they'd invite you in for donuts and cider.
A night that forever changed this central New York neighborhood.
No one wants to have this happen.
In Salina, Jeremy Skiba, News Channel 9.
Jeremy, thank you. Not only was Lieutenant Husak a member of the Sheriff's Office, he was also a very active volunteer with the Moyers Corners Fire Department. They, too, grieving tonight. News Channel 9's Ashley Cafaro shares more on the legacy Hooch leaves behind there.
The Moyers Corners Fire Department left heartbroken.
He'd give you the shirt off his back. He was that type of guy.
That guy, Mike Husak, a lieutenant for the Onondaga County Sheriff's Office and a member of Moyers Corners.
He was in the department almost 17 years. He got his paramedic. He joined the Sheriff's Department when he was a member here. Like I said, I can't say enough about him.
Joining the department as a volunteer firefighter in 2007, making it his mission to protect the community.
When they interviewed him to become a member, they asked him why he wanted to join the fire department. He said he wanted to help.
Helping in so many ways, while also taking care of his wife and 3 children, all under the age of 10.
Just one of those guys who would do anything and everything for you.
Black and purple memorial buntings now hanging over the station's bay doors at all 4 Moyers Corners fire departments. Members and former members coming together at Station 3 this morning to show their support for the man they all loved.
Everyone, I think, is dealing with it in their own way. It's going to be a lot of healing, a lot of talking, a lot of stress debrief.
His uniform, awards, and more still standing at Husak's locker at Station 2 as friends, family, and the community mourn our fallen hero. In Liverpool, Ashley Cafaro, News Channel 9.
And we saw this small gesture with big meeting. We witnessed just one example of how the community is already supporting its police officers. This is Jeff Piacettini from Salina, dropping off a bag of snacks, drinks, jerky, other goodies for the deputies still on the scene of the shooting that happened on Darien Drive. We know this is just one of many of the gestures we'll see from this community.
Of course, our coverage of the two fallen heroes does not stop here tonight. As new information comes into the newsroom, we will update you on air. We will also have a dedicated web page for you right now.